I see there's a lot of people, and that's what I said, with the frequency and energies increasing, the more people are going to, they haven't got rid of their anger, fear, trauma, and most people have trauma of some sort. They're going to struggle. So when you feel resistance, anger, fear, that all that does, and it's simple, is to explain that you're further away from being connected to source as a soul, because you're actually eternal soul. So when you are feeling any of those things, that means you just feel disconnected. You're not as connected. You're further away from who you really are, from source, from your higher self. That's what makes you suffer in those ways. So now that lady yesterday said to me, I've been there, that she's sort of, a lot of people are feeling that, so suicidal, because they're being pushed. The energy is forcing people to face, to let go of these angers, fears, resistance, trauma, nonsense. People are being pushed to do it. And this is what the energy is doing. It's pushing it up, because that is very dark, dense energy you're hanging on to. It does not serve you. People need to let go. And the biggest problem, what it is with people, is guilt. The trauma, they sit with guilt because they lash out when they're upset, trauma, angry, fear. And then they feel more guilt. I think the biggest thing is for people feel guilty and anger, is to let go, forgive themselves, and they don't do that. So if you're connected, if you're doing transcendental meditation, well, you probably won't have that problem, because you can connect with your higher self, you're able to let go. But for those that are really desperate, that are seeking in these times, most people get to pray. That's fine. If you start with that, it doesn't matter. Whether you get on your knees and you start praying for help, whatever else, that helps you. But start doing this meditation, because that's when you will actually start. Because the reason why you're feeling resistance, anger, and fear, it's all fear, everything. Feel inside your body. Start practicing. If you really want to, you will. You want to get rid of that pain. If you had enough of it, you will do something about it. So go within and sit quietly and try. You'll start seeing visions. I did. You start seeing visions, and they will show you. And when you realize you are not alone, when you see source, wherever you're asking for help, the angelics, the angels, whatever it is, whatever else you're knowing, you will see it, and it will be shown to you. Oh my gosh, actually. Because you realize also that you're not a victim, actually. Because we made these agreements, and they're lessons. It's that you haven't wanted to. Yeah. It's all actually rooted in fear. Sorry, my internet seems to be playing up. It's rooted in fear, actually. So, yeah, a lot of people, and some will get desperate, and some might leave us. But as I say, as a soul choice, if it's their time and their path, they will leave us that way, because we decide. People don't get this part. We decide, actually, how and when we're going to leave the planet. We do. So some of us have actually agreed to leave that way. So yes, there will be people that will leave, and there will be people that, because they're just not connecting, they can't deal with the energies, that they will give up. Because this is part of the planet. The planet's going up. They're holding the planet down, their energies. So it's also agreement is a divine purpose. It's a divine agreement in another way. But it's all that is, and you've just got to go with that. And if you ask, you'll be amazed where it comes from. All your things. Doesn't matter what it is. It can go right back to grade 1. I mean, you'll be like, wow. And it's not painful to see it. Because it's shown in you in such a way, higher self shows it, that it's like, oh my goodness, that makes sense. But you need to let it out. So whether you sit there and you breathe that hurt out, push it out through your breast, ground it. But start doing that meditation. It's the best healing and release ever. Start forgiving and forgetting. Let go. Stop judging yourself, because that's what people do. They judge yourself. You will not be judged. You are not judged, actually, at all. It's a misconception. You might judge yourself when you do something silly, even afterlife I'm talking about. But you are not judged. And people are just disconnected because they can't see it. They don't remember who they are. And if they do, they will never feel desperate, lonely, sad, anything. Because they don't. People want visual things. I say to them, do that. You will see. You will know without a doubt. And you'll laugh at yourself. And I mean, people talk about trauma. I can share some stories. I had complex post-traumatic stress. Serious trauma. I had lots of them. So my goodness, I tell you what. And when I was shown everything in my life, because I was desperate, I got on my knees in the beginning and I started. That's how I even got. I was trying to do healing and damage. I went down and when I was shown it, I was absolutely amazed. It was I was like, oh my gosh. And I realized I was never a victim. And I'd been held hostage. How's that one for you? But I realized I was never a victim. That was fascinating. You see it from a higher perspective. You're separated, you're forgetting you're a soul, you can't see source, you can't see any of those. You don't, so you just think this is life and this is it. And you haven't. And this is what people are being forced to do now, is to get rid of their baggage and stuff. So I do understand where they're going. I'll never judge someone if they want to take their own life. It's their choice as well, soul choice. But your higher self is not going to, if it's not your time, you're not going to be going. That's one of those things. It's a call. We have to do our own work. We have to do it. And even if they do, they'll come back actually. Because you judge yourself, you think, oh no, okay, I came here to learn that and I ducked out. I didn't get it because you just didn't wake up, that's all. So you'll come back and you'll do it again. Because whatever you came here to achieve, to feel, to understand, to earth, if you don't do it, you'll come back and do it again. That is the fact. We do. And most people there's no punishment. The ones that, the lot people, they're all waiting up there actually. There's a huge amount of souls waiting up there. Everyone's on hold. They cannot reincarnate back at the moment. So you'll just be sitting up there and waiting. That's as simple as that. And then you'll be shown, you see everything, and you make sense, and you think, oh, wow, okay. That's because you feel separated. The more hurt, angry, or whatever these emotions, it's because further they are away from who they really are, and their actual soul and your actual essence, source. That's it. It's absolute love. It's absolute love. And you can overcome anything, but it's your willingness to do it. So you can go to see a healer, try that. You can go see healing, and they'll tell you if you're not connecting, what you're doing wrong, what meditation, what's the best way. They'll give you messages, and you'll see for yourself. People need to know they're not alone. You're an eternal being, and you're never alone. You've got tons of help and guidance. You're the one who's doing it, and you haven't learned, or you won't let go. And they're trying to force you now. Are you ready now to let go of that? Or do you want to keep suffering? You just need to let go of it. It doesn't serve you. Why hang on to anything? That's it. Leave in peace. Let it all go. It's not who you are. It's something that happened. It's an experience. And believe me, it was for a very good reason. No matter what happened to you, you'll understand if you ask the actual experience. Why? Because we draw those things. Why we went through that. That is so interesting. Very mind-blowing. Absolutely mind-blowing. I was actually, when I finished my meditation once, and I was crying, I asked Source. And then they showed me, and I sat in this meditation, and I was shown all of this. And I was like, oh my gosh. It was such a relief. It was lifted off me. It was like, oh my gosh. And all that trauma was gone. Because I realized I wasn't a victim. And I was like, oh wow, okay. And everything happened for a reason. Absolutely. And we designed it like that too. I was actually thankful to people. The person that caused me one of the most trauma and pain, I was actually very thankful to them. Because now, funny enough, on my meditation yesterday, I went on an incredible meditation, but I was shown my mission, my purpose. We all come here for a reason or a purpose, to experience or understand or do something or whatever. It's not actually doing, but it's, yeah. And yesterday, after my meditation, I asked, well, why did I come here? I was saying, they showed me reincarnating. I dropped back into the womb, and I went through. I was like, that was interesting. Wow. But then I sort of thought, okay, well, I saw myself before I came, as a spirit, before I came into this incarnation. So I'm thinking, I saw myself agreeing on this, and I'm thinking, okay, well, I agreed on this, but why? Why, why did I choose to come here? What was my purpose now or mission now? And they showed me that I've got it right. I accomplished it now. I was like, it took me 59 years. But I did it. And it was like the lotto. It was like the lotto went off on my soul. I was so excited. It was like this cheering. They were just cheering for me. Because I achieved what I came here to learn. Maybe that's why I went through so much suffering. I learned it. Felt it. I understood it from all perspectives. And that was awesome. I was like, oh my gosh. It's mind-blowing, yeah, to the encompassment. It's love. It sounds strange. It's not as simple. It's not earthly as you think it is. But from all angles. So it was amazing. I was like, wow. Anyway, thought I'll share that with you. So don't give up, people. All right. But it means you have to come to the party as well. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. Stop feeling a victim. Because you aren't. And you're not alone. That's your ego, and that's a little voice saying to you in your mind, shut that thing off and ask for help. All right. But you have to go quiet, and you've got to go completely silent within yourself to hear it. Or how are you going to get the visions and get the voices and know what they're trying to say to you? And I said to people, go for regressions, go for healing, go to Akashic Records. Because people that think, oh, well, this is it, they don't know. Fine, you'll find out very quickly. And then it'll make more sense. And then you will get that guidance to work through it, because they'll be telling you what it is. But yeah, people need to. It's not going to go away. And the more you hang on to any of those feelings, try and find out why I'm feeling that way. Whatever it is. Because you always blame someone else. No, it's the government making me feel like that, or it's that, or it's this, or my neighbor, or the political party, or my boss, or ask. Always ask, why? And you'll be bloody amazed where it comes from. Absolutely amazed. And not all your shadow, not all your healing will come at once. Your major stuff you will let go of first. But little bits by little bits. It's amazing what comes out. When you do your meditation, you sit down and you want to, because they won't force you to. It's a free will. And you say, okay, well, any healing or clearing I need to do, you sit down. Because if you got a little pain or stiff, that's exactly something. That's something that is not cleared. It's all emotions, energy. And that little pain, you'll see, oh, okay, that comes from somewhere. This tumor that I got, that was interesting. I manifested after the years of all the nonsense, my thyroid, and I manifested a tumor. And the cause of that tumor was shown to me recently. When I sat in a meditation and asked, interesting, where does it, because we know it's energy. That was all the times I suppressed my anger, my tears, my hurt, my frustration. When you want to hold back your tears, you're trying to, you don't want to be embarrassed, and you actually get a sore throat. All that for a lifelong of holding back frustration, hurt, tears, anger, grief, holding that's what caused this tumor here, which is going, which is healing. So that's all being cleared, but I've got to do it takes me a lot of healing because it's manifested itself. So I have to put my hand on there, the life force energy or frill. So, because that's where you can generate it from and generate and sit there and push, send healing into it. But it's already strong. But that's where it comes from. That's what happens when we don't let go. Because eventually these things manifest in physical things. You will get pain or heart issues, whatever it is. They will actually cause physical ailments because your body is pure energy. And if you don't heal on a soul level, on an energetic level, because this is energy, you don't understand. Your main doctor, your main psychiatrist is not going to help you. No pills are going to help you. Because your soul gets to the root cause. You get rid of that, and these are gone. Okay, but hanging on to all these things, grief, loss, anger, frustration, victimhood, whatever else, that thing, you're holding it, don't want to let that thing go. It's like my little goodie bag. You need to let your chocolates go. And you let them go, and you'll be bloody amazed. It's amazing. It's such a release. So yes, a lot of these are, and sometimes it's from past lives. That's why I keep telling people, because this heals you at the core level, at the soul level. And no psych and medicine's not going to. They actually just switch it off and block it, suppressing it. So that all that medicine is making you feel, is pushing those chemicals, but that chemicals are naturally there. It's naturally in your brain when you do this anyway. It produces that. You won't need any drugs, anything. So it's absolutely worth it, but it's up to every soul. You're going to be pushed to that point. When at your time when you're going to let go. So that's what it is. We do it because we don't let go. We stress ourselves out because we don't understand. We're doing. You've got to stop doing and you've got to be. You've got to sit in silence. You've got to do that meditation because that brings you down. You've got to learn to. And then everything will be shown to you exactly why, where, what. Bloody amazing. My friend cured her stage 4 cancer. Many people have completely gone. Because you can heal anything. It's an energetic body. You decide you want to heal. You hit it at the energy level. You heal the physical. And that's where people are forgetting. So go see, there's many healers, many good people out there that understand that they will work it. But you've got to want that healing. Really, you've got to want it. They go, they heal it. You accept that healing. You don't doubt it. And then you work on it and you start doing this meditation, clearing up with it. And you'll get it. It's bloody amazing what you learn. So yeah, that's just because you're further away from source, all it is, of creation. That's why you feel lost, lonely, sad, because you've just forgotten who you are and you're not connected. When you get connected, my Lord, you won't ever be, because you know they're with you. You call them, you feel them, you can communicate with them. You're never alone. Absolutely ever. You can communicate with absolutely anything you want to. And you'll start loving life because you'll understand why you're here. You'll start loving life. You realize life is what it is. It's precious. It's life itself that's amazing. It's awesome. And that's what we're forgetting. We're looking at the circumstances, the car, the house, the job. Just life. Just that miracle of actual life. That the fact that you are breathing, that the bird is flying, that you will start looking at life very differently. Because you will understand why you're here and why these things that happen to you, you do them to you. That changes the whole picture. We understand we're never a victim at all. Some of us have chosen those illnesses so we can understand compassion. Or we did it as we made agreements. That's why I say, until you go for these past life regressions or Akashic records, you won't understand why when you do this. If you do it for yourself, you get connected. You ask and they will show you, guided. And I was like, wow. It was so easy. Then after I sat there, it took me quite many meditations to forgive, to let go, call that person in to the higher self, communicate with them, call them in, say thank you, say sorry, all right, no problem, forgive them, next one. Lots of work. Most people will have to go back to their family or their grandparents or whatever it is. But this really helps you people. And then you won't feel, you'll understand, you're not just a little person running around on earth here and that's it. Okay, that's why you feel suffering, because you've disconnected from your from who you really are at core. Because as a core, souls, we pure love, pure light, sources, absolutely. It's unbelievable the love you feel. It's just mind-blowing. It's infinite. You know that as a soul. So this is why you're suffering, because you know, well, this is not how we meant to feel. This isn't as a core, as a spirit, as a consciousness, who we really are. So this is why we suffer here, because we forget. And it's like, you feel that suffering because it's not who none of us, all of us are pure love at a core. And this is what's causing that pain in a lot of people. Absolutely, I promise you. And I'm speaking from very good experience here when it comes to trauma and suffering and pain. And all right, people. So you just make an effort, all right, and reach out. I got on my knees. I was absolutely beyond desperate. I'd gone through, I tried all the therapy and the medications, all that nonsense. And I was just, past that one. And I had really brain damage from the antidepressants and SSRIs. I was past that point, So, yeah, you get to find, oh, well, I'm just happy to go, But when you go, as you go. And you get on your knees and you'll be amazed. Okay. But it made me that effort. I didn't even do this meditation to try and get better. I didn't have the two together. I was trying to heal my brain from the damage the medication caused. That's how I started this meditation actually back then, was to heal physically. Not realizing, because I know the physical benefits, I understood about that and for PTSD and trauma, so I thought it would manage my PTSD. I didn't know it would make a whole different ballgame. And I thought it also knew it would help the brain, say with walking. Physical exercise is very important when you've got stress or anxiety or any of these things. Very important. Okay. Very, very important for the brain. And your diet, people don't realize vitamins. Most people are deficient, absolutely deficient. And all those vitamins and minerals affect the brain. It's nothing to do with pharmaceutical. Pharmaceutical is the biggest con on the planet. All right, people. So, yeah, that's all it is when people are like that. All right, they're separated from source. The further they are from being connected to all that is. And the further you are away, the more suffering, the more lonely, the more pain, the more sadness you'll feel. That's all it is. Go and have a past life regression. Go and get your Akashic records done. Okay, it's not like some psychic sitting here reading your tea leaves. You see it for yourself when you go through past life regression.